The Dallas Cowboys got to figure this out going into the offseason. They need a defensive coordinator. And we need to talk about it. So let's go. Welcome in, everyone. If you don't know me, I go by the name of Smack Talk. I do all Dallas Cowboys content. Today, we got to cover this defensive coordinator because the Dallas Cowboys need a defensive coordinator badly. Now, as the Dallas Cowboys decide to go ahead and fire Matt Eberflus because of the poor performance and poor job that he's done over the past 17 weeks, who do we look at next? Because in my opinion, you take the guy that left your facility and you get him back. And he goes by the name of Al Harris. Now, Al Harris was in Dallas the past few seasons as the cornerback coach. And he had our cornerbacks, two of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. Had them picking off balls, reading quarterbacks' eyes like no other. So he's with the Chicago Bears. And we all know the Chicago Bears defense is doing great right now. And with that being said, Al Harris needs to be in Dallas. Now, Jerry Jones, you need to pull the trigger. It's rather now than later, because if Al Harris continues to soar like that, he might get a head coaching job. Just depends on his type of style of coaching, because I know for a fact that Al Harris is a very, very physical type of coach, and he likes physicality and he likes being up front. And we could tell that by the last few seasons by Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland in our cornerback room when he was the cornerback coach. So I definitely think we need to bring back Al Harris. He has an extra umph that we need on that defensive side of the ball, and that extra 1-2 and that wheel on that side of the ball, because, Matt Eberflus didn't cut it. Jerry Jones went and hired Matt Eberflus after the Bears fired him and has some potential, hopefully some potential in him. And now look, we're at a point where the Dallas Cowboys are almost dead last in every ranking on the defensive side of the ball. There was a point where it was a 3-game stretch where they held their opponents to 70 rush yards, but it quickly plummeted. There's lack of pressure on the defensive side of the ball towards the quarterback. The quarterbacks are sitting there just having a field day with our defensive line. And our defensive line has to do better. Now, that's a different coach. Don't get me wrong. The defensive coordinator coaches the whole entire defense, but the defensive coordinator also has another defensive coach and another defensive coach for the secondaries and for the D linemen. But they all have to be cohesive in one mind. So the defensive coordinator has to be, they got to be ready, because obviously Matt Eberflus was not ready for schematically, and he's not good at adjusting to things that doesn't seem right. You start the game off this way, and then they come out doing something that's opposite of what you schemed against. And now how do you adjust? We didn't see that from Matt Eberflus. We seen him go up in a booth, and it didn't make a difference. You were still in zones when you really needed to be in man. And don't get me wrong. Some of this stuff is not all on Matt Eberflus. Some of it's technique problems from the players as well. And in cornerback rooms and secondary rooms, you got to have a lot of technique. You got to have a lot of technique and know where to put your eyes and keep your eyes as disciplined as possible, because if you don't, you're going to the wrong hole. An example, Kenneth Murray Jr. So this defense needs a focus. This defense has to have a focus, because if it doesn't, moving on to the next few seasons, the Dallas Cowboys will probably end up breaking even, or even worse, moving forward for the next few seasons. So Jerry Jones, I'm going to tell you now, go and get Al Harris. Al Harris can be, I feel like Al Harris can be the guy that we need in Dallas to make a difference on that defense side of the ball. Yes, we need some more players. Yes, we need linebackers. Yes, we need safeties. But if Al Harris was still there in Dallas and he took over that defensive coordinator position instead of Matt Eberflus, we'd probably be in a better predicament than we're in now. I'm not saying that we will be undefeated or anything, but we may be, won a couple more games than we should, than with Matt Eberflus. Because Matt Eberflus, man, he didn't make any adjustments in those close call games that we had. The Green Bay game, an example. Tied 40-40. You didn't make any adjustments the second half, it felt like. So they played better the second half, but it was like, man, we could have made these adjustments the first half, and you could have held these guys out of the end zone a couple more times, and we could have won this game. So moving forward, the Dallas Cowboys got to pull the trigger on the defensive coordinator as soon as possible. Now, the Dallas Cowboys play against the Washington Commanders and the New York Giants for the last 2 games of the season. I wonder what Jerry Jones' mind is going, because it needs to go to the defensive coordinator. Who's going to be your guy? And if you want me to be honest, guys, something that I've never really understood about Jerry Jones is I've never seen a team talk, or an owner's team talk about their head coaching or their coaching adjustments. That is a head coach job as far as what I'm concerned. And don't get me wrong, we all know Jerry Jones is a little bit different. He's a little bit unorthodox. But I'm going to tell you this. When you have situations like this is what you get into. You get into a situation where you hired the wrong dang guy, and you thought he was going to be good, and he was not. So now look at us. Sitting dead last at defensive ranking. We stopped the run a little bit better this season. A little bit better. Still gaping holes and still can't get no pressure. So we need a change in Dallas on the defensive coordinator position. Defensive coordinator, coach, point blank period. Brian has done a great job with what he was given. He's done a great job with Dak on year 10. He's done a great job with everybody spreading the ball out and being creative with play calling. So it's on the defensive side of the ball. It's time. Now, I've heard countless number of times that, we can blame it on the defense all we want to, and our offense went scoreless second half. And man, I'm going to tell you now, it starts with the defense. That offense runs off the defense. If the defense is fired up, getting 3 and outs, we going to go out there and slang it. Before you know it, we'll be in the end zone. But if we have to continue to play tug of war with teams all season long, back and forth, you score, I score, you score, I score, eventually you get burnt out. I don't care. That's just not humanly possible for you to just be perfect every single game. It's not happening on the offensive side of the ball. You're going to sputter. You're going to have those times where you can't get the first down because that defense is on your tail. That's just the way it is. So I'm not blaming any of this season on my offense. I'm blaming it on my defense, and we need a defensive coordinator. He goes by the name of Al Harris. I loved him in Dallas, and I want him in Dallas again, and I want him running things on the defensive side of the ball, not as a position coach. So moving forward, guys, we definitely have to pull the trigger. So Jerry Jones, this is my shout to you. I'm going to tell you now, go get him. Don't wait. Go do it right now. Yeah, you want to assess how Matt Eberflus done after these last 2 games. I get that. Go ahead and do that. But who knows? If you wait too late, Al Harris might have a head coaching job. Now, don't get me wrong. He's in Chicago, and he's as a position coach, a cornerback coach still. And Ben Johnson is a head coach out there in Chicago. And they're doing pretty well. So I don't know if he's going to get promoted within Chicago, or he might get picked up by another team and be a head coach. So if Jerry don't pull the trigger early, he might be gone. Or Jerry might not pull the trigger on him at all. But I'm going to definitely tell you this. He got that chemistry with the Dallas Cowboys. He know the players at the Dallas Cowboys. And he know the front office at the Dallas Cowboys. And he know the coaches at the Dallas Cowboys. It's that simple. So that you give that guy that extra boost. So when he comes back, he's comfortable. Oh, yeah, I'm ready. You put me in a defensive coordinator position. Oh, yeah. You see what I did as a cornerback coach and how our cornerbacks was running and doing things. Oh, yeah, now you put me at a defensive coordinator position where I'm calling plays. I'm on the sideline. Yeah. So Al Harris needs to be that guy. And if he's not, guys, we're going to be in another season like we are, guys. I'm going to be honest. We, as an organization, has to do better about pulling the trigger earlier, because there's been countless number of times where the Dallas Cowboys could have pulled the trigger early and didn't. An example, Michael Parsons. Now, Michael Parsons went on to Green Bay, And unfortunately, he had an ACL tear and is out for the rest of the season and possibly some of next season. But that's talent that we need. It come with a price tag. Every talent come with a price tag. Jerry Jones didn't want to pay that price tag. I can tell. Yeah, you can say all that stuff that led up to it. That may be the reason he got traded. But I'm gonna tell you now, he couldn't stop the run. Green Bay still can't stop the run. So moving forward, if you want to be honest, getting closer towards the season, end of the season, we owe Jerry Jones an apology specifically for the Micah Parsons trade. That's it. I'm not saying hiring Matt Eberflus. I'm not saying that we owe him an apology for this whole season, because this whole season went to crap quickly. But we owe him an apology for the Micah Parsons trade. He went and got Quentin Williams. He got Kenny Clark. Those are two great guys, and we can definitely feel their difference. He just needs some edge rushers. That's what we miss with Micah Parsons, is the edge rush. That's it. And then with Micah Parsons, he freed up guys like Osa to get money and get a deal. So we got to get Al Harris in here. I need a defensive coordinator, and I need him now. Don't wait, Jerry. I'm tired of you waiting. There's no point in waiting to go and pull the trigger on a defensive coordinator. And you clearly see that our defensive coordinator can't keep opposing offenses out the end zone. If you see that and you acknowledge that, what does that tell you? 2 + 2 = 4. Not 2 + 2 = 5. So do the math. I know you know how to do math. You're a rich man. Let's go get Al Harris. He's the right guy for that job. Now, there's a couple other people out there as well, but I like Al Harris. Yeah, I've heard Mike Zimmer, but I like Al Harris. Mike Zimmer, he has it. Mike Zimmer, I'm going to tell you now, he dials up pressure. He likes pressure. And I'm down with that, but I have not seen Dallas dial up pressure and be that pressure type of team. Yeah, we send blitzes here and there. We off the edge, whatever. But I'm going to tell you now, we're not that team that we're sending blitzes on second and third down every down. Unless we get the personnel for that. And that's going to be coming in the draft and some free agency players. We need that. That's the only way that will work out. So I definitely think moving forward, the Dallas Cowboys needs a change on the defensive side of the ball. They need a new face that's running that defensive side of the ball. And I'm hoping Jerry Jones is with me, because, man, oh, man, this year was pretty hectic on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, if y'all saying that y'all blaming the offense, y'all can blame. Y'all can do that. Y'all got that. Take it and run with it all the way to the bank, because I'm going to tell you now, clearly you don't know football if you're blaming this on the offense, because the defense had a horrible season. It's that simple. The defense had a horrible season, and we see that. And if you don't see that, you don't know football. It's that simple. If you do see that, you know football. 1 + 1 = 2, not 1 + 1 = 3. So I definitely think Al Harris needs to be that guy. Let me know down in the comments of what do you think of this, because Al Harris was great in Dallas, man. And he needs to come back and get paid, get acquainted with those guys again. And I'm telling you, man, I feel like this defense will have a new look. So with that being said, guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe button on your way out. And until next time, DC4L, deuces.